Samuel Chase, the torch that lit the revolutionary flame. No signer stirred up more controversy or had more fiery temperament than a Marylander known as Bacon Face. Samuel Chase was born in Maryland's Somerset County in 1741. His mother died soon after his birth. And at the age of 3, Sammy moved to Baltimore with his father, who was a minister. Sammy received his early schooling from his father before studying law in Annapolis. At 20, he became an attorney, and the next year he married Anne Baldwin, with whom he had 7 children. Chase won a seat in Maryland legislature at the age of only 20. He was a man who did what he thought was right regardless of the consequences. For example, he voted for a measure regulating ministers' pay, even though he thought it cut his salary in half. An ardent patriot, Chase organized the Sons of Liberty in Annapolis region with his friend William Paca. In late 1765, Annapolis patriots created a dummy that resembled a British tax officer to show what they thought of the British stamp tax. The patriot decided to burn the dummy. The honor of putting the torch to it went to Samuel Chase. People who sided with England were despicable, Chase said, adding that they belonged to a dunghill. They retaliated by calling him the ringleader of mobs and a foul-mouthed son of discord. Because of his ruddy complexion, which grew even redder when he was excited, Chase was given another nickname, Bacon Face. In 1774, Maryland sent Chase to the Continental Congress. 2 years later, he, Benjamin Franklin, Charles Carroll of Carrollton, and John Carroll visited Canada, but could not convince the Canadians to fight on the American side. Chase returned to Philadelphia to find Congress discussing independence. The problem was the Patriot leaders back in Maryland hadn't granted permission for their delegates in Congress to vote for separation from England. Chase rushed home and convinced them to change their minds. Then he rode more than 100 miles back to Philadelphia in 2 days, arriving just in time to vote for independence. For his zeal in the cause, he was called the Samuel Adams of Maryland, and the torch that lit the revolutionary flame in Maryland. After the war, Chase became a judge back in Maryland. His wife, Anne, had died during the war. In 1784, he married Hannah Kitty Giles, with whom he had 2 more children. In 1796, President George Washington appointed Chase to the U.S. Supreme Court, where he served as the last 15 years of his life. Today, he's remembered as one of the finest justices in the early years of our nation's highest court. But in his own time, he made many enemies because of his hot temper and his political views. For example, he angered supporters of President Jefferson by speaking out against his policies. The House of Representatives impeached him, charged him with misconduct, in 1804. The next year, in a heated Senate trial, Chase was not found guilty, allowing him to retain his position on the High Court. This helped establish the precedent that judges shouldn't be removed for political reasons. The Maryland firebrand died in Baltimore in 1811 at the age of 70.